Ladies and gentlemen, this looks like some firecrackers right out of a Cracker Jack box. How you doing? I'm doing pretty good. Better than yesterday and the day before. But still, it makes amazing videos. The last one, previous one, this one is a real good one on an enlightening level. I'd recommend it. And the one before that is actually a great video or another explanation entirely on the S1 series. Actually, the real name is SFX series devices. So basically, it's my initial SF and an X for X Factor because, the X Factor. And so one in humanities group, basically, one human came forward and he mentioned that he made what he called a S micro or S mini micro, something like that. But he didn't say. I think he said 1 farad caps he used in the post. So please, if you can, post on top of in the comments of this video of your micro. So I'm working. I'm going to call this one a pico because you already came up with the micro. So I can't. It is your place. I mean, you got it at 1 farad, and we're going to call that one. Because it's part of creating, part of everybody participating. So in a way, I received some little caps today. So it turns out, that you did good, bro, because you're following, you're doing, and you got results. You said, "Oh, interesting results," but you didn't share more. I invite you to share more. But right now, I got some caps, which I didn't really plan out that much. I have 16 volts here at, what are these? 4,700 UF. I have 35 volts here at 1,800 UF. And I have 2.7 volts here at 10 farads instead of 1. And when I put it together like this, it's kind of surprising. Now, what am I planning? Well, this is a perfect experiment to test, many of my theories, basically, and to see, because this doesn't have any farads to it. So I have multiple ways I can plug it right now, and I haven't decided yet. And that's why I put the camera on. Now, if I do a parallel connection with the exterior caps, that will be the same thing as a mini. I mean, the same voltage. But in the center, I put a 16 volt, but I'm not planning to charge a 16. I mean, it can't charge higher than the other ones. But I'm figuring because I don't have much choice anyways. I only have 6 of these. So Destiny's kind of, and I work with geometry. I really like, or else I don't like it. So I decided to put that one. I could have put a 35, but 35 would be overboard. 35 would be good if I put them all in series. That would give me 18 volts. The 35 I would use as 13. So it's not really useful to use that anyway. So I put the green one there, turns out. I then do the calculation. I open the camera and I think out loud. Now, how am I going to do it? Well, what am I going to do? 8.1 volts, 8.1 volts, 3 in series, and then those in parallel? Or do I go directly to just have less farads and plug them all to get the most voltage I can? That would probably equivalent using all of these in parallel. But that's much bigger. I mean, if I let's build another one with these. It's not very useful. Well, in the center it could be higher voltage. It is useful to a certain point. Very useful to keep the pressure up. I want to see. I have nothing to compare it with, so I should do a comparison model. And so that would be ways to be able to get more direct, something to compare it with, so you get the right results to compare. That's the best way. That's the way I work, but that's a lot of preparation. So it's fun to work in teams when you do that, because you build a protocol of all that needs to be tried and compared. And it's not just about finding the best one, it's about understanding what's going on. And in every different experiment, you get to see clearer what are the mechanisms that are most useful. That's creating the advantages of it. You see these ones are discharged today. These are the ones that came back bright. Let's just do it again, just for, yeah, you see. And now we're like 24 hours later. You see, and the other one. This is like after twice of them discharging. This is the third time now over a period of 24 hours. It's going to stay lit for about 20 minutes like this, but can be discharged who knows how many times. It's going to take a while. It's going to take a while. They're going to work for a while. So let's use the light here and give ourselves a little light show. Best we can. All right. This here. Let's make this disappear. I don't know where to put it in places filled with stuff. All right. So, let's do a little pack here. Ball. Here, you see the size is not good because, but I'm going to glue it with a separation. It's a beautiful flower of life, this one. The separation makes it more good looking, but they're both very beautiful. This is pretty freaking cool. This is going to probably light, well, it's actually all depending, but it's probably going to be, we could plug it the exact same way as this one, right? But it has 10 times less farads. So theoretically, it should light up this light for 6 minutes, full brightness. And this one was going to take like 10 times faster charging than this one, right? So this one, in 3 seconds of 12 volts with amps, it's like already charged. A full charging of it is about 5 to 10 minutes. If you want the center to charge also. But it doesn't have to do that. You don't have to do that. It's already ready and zilch, right? Now this one's going to charge even faster. Theoretically, should last full brightness 6 minutes because this one lasts, well, more than an hour and it continues after discharging it. But one shot, the first shot will discharge 1 hour of full brightness, and then you discharge it and it comes back alive. Discharge it, comes back alive. Discharge it, comes back alive. And this is actually incredible, even more incredible with solar. Solar is going to give you a lot of power in this little puppy. I'm not joking. This is going to be really crazy. People will be very astonished, especially people who are used to working with solar and battery packs and shit. This is going to be comes 10 to 100 times more practical. So you got the X factor in your pocket, right? So that's the deal with that. Now we're gonna go, because also another thing is all these little puppies are gonna be able to be hooked and daisy chained together with lights between them and shit. It's gonna be incredible. It is already incredible. You know, I've done a lot of miniature devices, a lot. Okay, a lot. I've invented and cognitively invented and did it physically. I'm sorry if I put the word I in there, but it ends it up that I'm a person. So I did it, and I made 3 layers of capacitor with paper, right? And so I had 0.5 volt potential in the thing. Then on top of it, I put like pyramids and coils, and I attached them all to the positive and negative of the flat capacitor I made, and I created like these cities, like almost, So and it was 3D, and it was just to give you an example of how you can layer these capacitors in the 3D fashion, so you could develop cognitively what I had cognitively came up with, because of pure creativity. I'm fucking drooling here. How much creativity is easy. It was easy, more easier than you think. Everybody could do this. Everybody has the ability to imagine, and there's nothing you can't imagine that isn't real. What I mean by that is, for example, this geometry you did not imagine, right? I mean, you can't. If you imagine it, then it's already existing. So you didn't imagine. You weren't the first one to imagine this, right? But you have. But it existed. This geometry existed before you even could imagine it. But you could imagine it. Now, in the way that the potentials are, that there's 2 wires on each one of them, because of the geometry, there's a certain way you could put the plus on one side or the plus on the other. There's a quantum reality in there of possibilities. Even if it's not plugged right, there's a possibility, if you would plug only one lead to another, what you can do. Now we know in electronics, if we plug them plus to minus, plus to minus, plus to minus, we have a series connection. We also know if we plug them all minus and minus, minus, minus together, and plus, 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 plus together, we have a parallel connection. But other possibilities also exist, right? There's like, you plug these 3 in series, and then these 3 in series, and then you plug them in parallel together. Or you plug 2 in parallel together, 2 in parallel together, and 2 other in parallel together, and then you plug them all in series. Or, there's 1,000 different ways, or maybe not 1,000, but let's say there's 50 different ways that will give you an effect of something. They will all give you an effect of something. All the ways, even if you plug one the opposite to the other, it has a function in the universe. It's for you to understand what it's doing. It's shortening out. But are there other effects? Is there an effect there, gravitational, magnetical, which the fields that are around it are attracted to it? Is it, what is the other effect that comes out of it? Now, I just want to inspire you to know that nature intended all this to exist. It is what it allows it to do what it does. No matter who does it, nature already predefined that if you plug in series, it will have a series connection and they will add up, right? In a certain way, in voltage, what we call voltage. But what's voltage for nature? I think it's potential. It's a potential energy of a device. That means it's already pre-established and it has a potential. Nature pre-established also those limits, like the speed of sound, for example, the size of the container, the dielectric that's inside, the material that is used, how much space is between the materials, etc. Nature predefined all these states to have certain effects. Now, when you start to look at things in this way, then you start to study really what was going on. Instead of relying on what was told to you, You go with observation, and you go deep in observation. And nature reveals, okay, when you do that and that, it can light up a light, and it does have that voltage and this and that. And you could speculate on it, right? You put your own assessment of what you're observing. The more information you get in, the more one supports each other. And if you were wrong, you just adapt to the new perception that arises through comparing all of these things. That's what I do, and that's what we're doing together here. Okay? It's a together thing. Because I'm able to also create on the spot, and it's fundamental knowledge. It's intrinsic in you to understand this. Okay? It is also what we call different results. In each result, in one result like this one, you have 3 in series here and 3 in series on the other side, and they're plugged in parallel. And there's one in the center. One in the center is relooping, is plugged the minus to the minus of the 2 other ones in parallel. And the plus is connected to the minus of the light, and the plus of the light is plugged to the plus of the capacitors that are in series and parallel. So basically, it goes from exterior to interior, and it charges the interior cap. Now, watch the 2 teachings before. You will have a total big explanation on that. So I don't want to go into that right now because I already explained it so well in other videos. And especially that one is the one I'm going to refer people to. But this is also a great example to show you about that in different ways of plugging it, you get different results. And when the result exists, it's a new dimension. It's the dimension that it's on. It's on, right? So it's not like if I put it on off, and now we're in the dimension it would be on off. It's not like I plugged it in another way, which would give me another result, which would be another dimension, which another result. One could say in this particular case, in the way I would plug it, it would create either a series connection or a parallel connection. You would have all these options. By deciding one, well, it would collapse in that reality. There's a reason and the mechanisms that you're looking for that guided you to plug it in that way. In this particular case, I haven't even made my mind on this one. First, now nature talks to me, says, well, the first thing you should do is replicate this. Exact the same. And it's not exact the same, but it's configuration. Even if the center one is a 16 volt, doesn't matter, because we're only going to be using the 5 volt part of it, or 6. But it still can go to 16, so that means it will never blow. It will never over exceed. But it never happened with these so far. When the center cap becomes very, very filled, and it refills each time you discharge it, it comes back up. When you wait to discharge it, it actually makes a spark, and you can make multiple spark, and the metal piece you use wants to stick on it. It's welding there. Okay, so that's why we plug a USB in some cases. That's what I'm going to do again. Plug a little USB plug, so when this one gets charged, I could discharge it. And the other model, which the light now is not lit up, I put a LED light, and when the center cap is full, it lights up. But now it's like charging it because the light is on. So maybe it will come back on, but it's in the beginning that really you get to see it. And you get to maintain the discharging of it. So you can really go survival on with this. Because and you need to leave the light on, because the light creates the potential difference, and it helps to keep the system at higher voltage. Watch it too, not the last video I did before this one, but the one before that. There's no title to it, so I need to download it and re-edit it, but it's there. So look for it, and if it's destined to find it, you're going to learn a lot from that video. A lot. So now, there's another thing that bothers me, is the pins of these are long, right? And I like to have them long to do multiple experiments. So if I do one experiment with this, it's going to kind of have to stay like that afterwards. So it's going to be a long-term commitment. I'm not going to do I'm not going to do it on camera because it's too small. I mean, well, if I take my time and I put the camera in a certain way, I could do it. Okay. Now, first thing is tough. Is a tough part. First, let's start with the small ones. Okay, there's a line on each one of them. That's my negative. There's that line there. Now, I always put two negatives facing each other in the back. I put them facing each other in the back. Poof. In the front, I put them exterior to each other, the negatives. So the positives are in the center. So already half done. And then the one on the side, okay, this one's that. We're plugging the minus to a plus, so we just put the plus on that side. And same thing on the other side. There's a minus here on this side. I'm going to plug the plus so it connects to that one. So already I got my geometry. And they're placed in the right direction. Now the pins here like this, they got to connect right here. So I got to take these two, right? And I never done it with this small model, but I'm going to bend it forward. I'll bend the other one forward. Forward, man. So now, suddenly, I could easily more differentiate them. I'll take these two things. I'll put them kind of back straight, I think. But at least now, I should be able to hold it like that. Hold these two together. And I'll twist them right away. Usually I glue it first in the bigger models. So that's the tricky part. That's like real tricky. Real tricky. Because your poles have to be really well aligned. It's in a circle type fashion, not just straight. So I have to place it perfect. So when I glue them, perfect. So it's tough. This is small. Maybe I'm just gonna try to give it a dash without them moving. It worked. It wasn't so hard. It's so hard. The lighting. So the two front ones are glued. Now I have a negative here. I'm going to plug the positive because I want them to be in series. Do this side. It's going to be cute. All right. Now, push that in. Now I want to make sure this one is on the right point. This one there. Ooh, la, 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 la. They're not exactly super evened out. There's a lot of space between that one and that one, but it's tough to glue a lot of space here. This is almost like surgeon precision. Really? Nah, this is tough part here. Go deep. Right. All right. Now the center one. Okay. It's glue on the outside side. Yeah. Give it some strength. Take it. My hands out. Finish the job. I'll put them on glue because it's a tiny little thing. Let's give it some strength. And I'm going by the bottom, fill the gaps. Whoops. Get that center one glued together. There we go. That's cute. It's gonna be a cute little puppy. This is 8.1 volts. It's going to be 8.1 volts. I could have made it 16 because, well, actually it's 18. I can go up to 18 something. Three volts each, but that's really not recommended, but I play around those ranges often. Okay, now I gotta plug the wiring together, and we are gonna do together this. So this is gonna be easy because these pins are quite easy to work with. Let's twist these two, and I'm gonna leave it long. So I'm able to tap into where I want to tap in. It's simple. Okay, I don't know the results of this one, right? But it's the same thing for the bigger models, the S Mini. So now that's just what we're gonna do. Beautiful. Completely beautiful. Nature designed this, right? If you think about it, more I'm twisting the wires, everything's designated to be a certain way already, right? And it allows me to do certain things also, because look how many wires are actually accessible. And actually, you could really tap into those. Okay? Each one of them you could use for something. It has a purpose that you could use it for. We're going to go for the two minuses that are in the back usually. Well, for you, the front. If I could find them, here they are. It's here because there's like two lines there. White and white are together. These are the two negatives that are plugged together, and these are the two positive parallel series connection, series, and then parallel together. So like a yin yang, half bottle plugged together. Now we have the negative, and the center cap. Shit, I made a grave mistake. I forgot to put the negative on that side of it. So now I kind of a little bit of a trouble, but I gotta put that down there. I'm gonna flip that there. I'll take this here. Anyway, it's no problem, but it's kind of weird looking. Alchemically, though, it does make sense. It's kind of tight also in the length. Now, Houston, we have a problem. That's the tricky little part. But it's bypassable. That's why you always need like 3-4 times to make it in a row, like the same model. Like here, made a few, and then you get after 4. You get it down to a science, but it's quite surprising how many wires that you could add to it and how many lights and so on, but on the bigger models. So now the negative is plugged to the negative. This is going to be our new load. This is actually a positive, but we're going to use it as a negative. And we're going to go right here where the two positives are connected together, and this is going to be our new positive. The real positive of our load. So we're going to plug a light there. It's going to go out from this, pow, light up the light, return here, and charge the cap. Because the cap is now plugged also in parallel to the system. It's that easy, okay? That's the basic of the SFX configurations. But it involves also a whole series of connection that goes with it. It's like a new way of doing everything, and it's fractal, and it could be plugged in multiple fashions, but it always ends up being a plus-to-plus connection. Now, if we want to charge a device, we need to put a wire on the negative here, okay, because we only want to charge the exterior ones. And on the positive here, not on the center cap. We're going to charge only the exterior. That will light up the light, and then that will transfer and charge the center cap while we're charging the device, and while it's lit up after it's unplugged. So, all right. So that means I need the blue wire on here for my charging. So I'm going to put a blue wire on. So, wire. Let me get that. No, you need 2 blues and 2 reds. 2 for the charging and 2 for the load. And my wire is pretty big, so it's going to be, it's not that big. But it's a bit bigger than usual, I use, and it's more appropriate. And so it's going to make it kind of a little hardcore little device. So right now I'm going to cut 2 at a length of about 3 inches. That's going to be for my load, and 2 for charging. So we're going to strip it. I recommend buying one of these. Okay, and with this one, we're going to strip it long because I'm going to just turn it by hand. Right, and that goes on the negatives where the 2 negatives meet in the back of the device, which for you is the front. It's right there. Now, how am I going to plug it? Usually I do that, but maybe I do it from usually I do try to find a hole somewhere, pop it in, right, like this here. So at least when I bend it here, I already have like a hook on it. I already have a hook, so, and then I try to twist it around. The longer the better. You want at least 3 turns. And always a bit tight, but it's okay. Trying to finish with it. Look how beautiful it is. Isn't it destiny also that it's the pattern of the flower of life? You see how it's a unit, but it has unities. Little people holding hands. Little people is us, but it's very smaller than us. Little people. That's funny. Discrimination again. Poor little people. I wonder if there was a time when all the midget lived in the same forest. That's funny. Wouldn't that be like a fairy tale? You stumble upon that place where all the midgets united. It was a paradise of midgets, just like in fairy tales. I bet you it exists. I bet you there is a place where they kind of made their own little community. Why not? Sure is helpful when all the stores are the size of for you and everything's the size for you and the community. and no discrimination. People don't look at you, funny or 10 times more than any other person because you're small, you're different. Anyways, making a point where the fairy tales are actually, for sure, based on truths, and not only that, but in a way, they still exist, and they always will, they always have. So now, we can have our charging ports. Just like in this one, you have your charging ports. Lights is still on. But keep in mind, 24 hours later, right? After 3 different discharge, at a certain rate, they wasn't on. It went off last night at 10 hours ago. Well, before that, and then I shortened it out, the center cap, to give it the difference in potential. The light came back on. Turned back off an hour later, and then I discharged it again later on. I didn't calculate. You can let it there, and it won't discharge anymore. That's the magic. Also, caps are supposed to discharge. Now maybe this test is going to determine also that this caps is not supposed to do very much. But I have nothing to compare the experiment with. But actually, I do. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I have this. I could do. Yes. Anyway. Now, what do we need? But this one is the one. This one, I could put another red on this one. And I need another blue on the center one. So I just cut those right there. And again, I'm going to cut it. I'm going to give myself some room to twist it. So this is going to be for the lows, so they're not as long. But I'm just going to go here at the tip, and I'll continue my turning on the tip of it. Surprisingly enough, they do turn the tips in electronics. I thought just other people, special people did that, but it's a universal thing. So we turn the tips. It's in electronics already to do that. So as well, and you don't get poked. So for security reasons, especially when you work with DC, try to finalize everything so it's smooth, so you don't get poked. Because you don't get shocked with DC unless you transperse the skin with the two leads, not just one. So always make sure, and that really is, that never happened to me, but that could be very dangerous. Apart from that, you don't get electrocuted unless it's 400 volts DC. DC, we're talking about, not AC. So I never wear gloves for this, but wear gloves in case, let's say you would fall on the spikes of this maybe when it's fully charged. And let's say real bad luck, you would have two of the spokes transferred the 3 layers of your skin to the blood, then you'd electrocute yourself. But you know, that's pretty rare because you could touch it, or else your skin is the barrier. Over 400 volts DC goes through the skin. There's no more barrier. So that's why I never get electrocuted, even with the high amperage stuff that you touch the wires and they create such a spark. I jump each time. It's incredible. And I touch it with my fingers, does nothing. So it's pretty cool. That's why it's fun to work with DC for that. They say if you get shocked with DC, you die. It's more dangerous than AC. Yeah, but it's so far. Like, if there were water on the ground and two wires of DC touching the water, the caps would drain. You know, they create a spark, and the spark would continue. The water would dry, and but how bad lucky you need to be to have the 2 wires in the bathtub at the same time as you're in it. Well, it happens. So you don't bring it in the bathtub. But I don't, because the water might be and then with water and the skin, if my hand would be soaked in water and I touch maybe I get the shock. But I get sweaty palms, and it never happens. So I just want to let you know, it's kind of like it's not what we were taught in school, basically, or not that I went to school very long. So last wire, center. I'm going to twist it like 4 to 5 times this time. Make sure the caps are discharged when you do this, because if the wires touch, it's going to spark and the wire is going to become hot. You're going to burn yourself. Well, these are new, so they have no energy in it at all. But if you short out the wire and your finger is there, it's going to burn you. So I'm going to twist all the spokes. This one's a bit long, so I'm going to cut this one. These are no good. Dollar store stuff. Okay, I'm going to twist that. I'm going to twist that. And like spark gaps, energy pops out of these wires at the tip. And you want the plasma, because I think it is plasma basically, or else I wouldn't mention it. Plasma reverts and comes back. You're designated to come back. So now can't poke myself. I don't mind it looking like a star. Because it's a ways to tap into it and to measure my voltages of all of it. It's fantastic. Basically, I really like it. Now I'm gonna shred the other. I'm gonna leave myself a centimeter and a half long. Now for the load, in this case, I have options. I'm confused because I'm not sure if I want to use a 5 volt. Oh yeah, I have to. Okay, problem solved. I had already some wires here. Let's see if I can't find something magical. I don't know how magical this is. Not even sure the voltage of it. That would have been cool though, to try out. I got to solder later on that. Now let me think here. I have a little light. Maybe where did I put those? Okay, I really have to put order in my things. Quite difficult to do on my desk because usually I'm very ordered, but I don't have the room. I don't have. This is my living room. Sleep in this room. I do everything in this room. It's like I'm not sure if I want to put my piano light on it because I did already pre-solder some nice long wires. Well, for the test of it, just plug it. It's going to be easy like that. They were able to test it right away. Not waste too much time. And the fun thing is, everything's in position to I'm gonna get the 12 volt leads, plugging 12 volts on it. 12 volt minus 2.7 because that's what's in the center, and actually, yeah, that gives us 9.3 volts, and it's an 8.1 system, so we should be okay. But it's going to charge real fast, light up the light. Okay, this is touchy, okay? Houston, these is parameters that are borderline. I don't know if the ship will take it. Give it all she's got, Scotty. We have no choice. We have pre-designated it to be, okay, let me just make sure everything. That's weird. Let's check this out. That's weird. Maybe it does take time. What's going on? Let me double check here. That's good. Maybe because it's the first. Maybe they need a heart attack. Needs a boost. Okay, sometimes this happens. It's like it's dead. It doesn't want to live, but you will live. Okay, it's fine. I'm gonna plug it direct, big amps. No joking around. Fire sparks. There we go. Okay, what happens here though? But I'm not sure. But it's alive now. But the light's not on yet. But it's alive because I know when it's alive, it's alive. Now we're going to plug the 12 volt back on it. And I'm going to see how much it takes time to charge it. Usually I use the caps. I don't use this. This is not my measurement of charging. The light lights up. Okay, so that's a good sign. Come on. So we'll put it on the charge. So the light is on. So this is bright here. Way too bright. Way too bright for me. There we go. It's charging. I'm not too sure what's happening though, so I'm going to plug my multimeter. I'm going to make sure that this doesn't pull and fall. Multimeter. Hopefully its battery works. We're going to check the charging state of it. Anywhere I put it there, it's fine. We're at 9.72. I'm not sure. It just stopped working. Okay, we're at 9.9. So theoretically, I'm just going to take the charging off. See if it's keeping it charged. Kind of decent. Now there's no more charging on it. The light's off, but the voltage is staying at 9. Slowly going down, but the speed of rate is going down. As to me, it seems to be slow, even if it seems to be fast to you. I want to measure if the center cap charged, so I'm going to put the multimeter on the center cap. And usually, just in a sec, I just take the positive here and plug it on this positive lead here. I got 7.41 in the center. There's not if I discharge the center, the light will come on, but it's charging too fast. Okay, so we're going to discharge it. You see? See how bright it is? That. I'm going to discharge it all. That should do. Let's see the voltage it gives me while I'll do that. Because I need it to be 0. You see, I could plug that there. Is that it? What's the other one? That there. Yeah, that's it. So I got 2.30 there, but what about the exterior? 8.17 there. The light theoretically should be lit on right now. I don't know why it's not lit on. Let's try it again. For some reason, I need to keep shortening out for it to work. So that's an option, though. It's very bright. It's very powerful. When I shorten it out, I see I'm at 7.40. And this is remarkable because this is actually working. It's working because the pressure is keeping it up. See, if I let it go and I go on the voltage here, the exterior, I'm at 7 volts. Which is not too bad because I'm shortening it out. So I lose the mechanism there. But here, it seems to want to maintain it there higher than usual. So that means that it could be a trigger switch. You know, you put a little switch on it, and when you need the light, you just press on it, and it gives you a super bright light, right? And when you let it go, it just shuts it off. and it continues to maintain itself. Because as you can see, look, that's my switch, on off. So when you need it, because this is tiny. See how the light wants to stay on for a bit, but there's not enough pressure in the center. But at the same time, it is actually functional. When you need it, you press on the button, and when you let it go, it stops. Not much heat will be caused because the farads are low. So that's if I would have put a 2.7 volt cap in the center, the same one as here, right? The center one, when I charge it, it charged up to what? I think it was 8 volts. Now, if it was only at 2.7 volts there, you see that it would lock it so it doesn't go higher than. It would keep it at a rate where the difference of potential would be more relevant. So, in this particular case, I would actually go. My next test is going to be all the exterior ones in series to have 15 volts with this cap also, and then a whole new bunch of series of this same thing here, but with the black one in the center, and then this same thing here, the black one in the center, but all in series, to compare all 4 methods. They all work, as you can see. Just put a button here, and you're running around with a light that charges in a few seconds, right? And you could. It actually, to me, I think it's going to last all day on off in your pocket, because when it's on off right now, it's on. Okay, it's actually not on off. It's on. It's on. It's maintaining itself. It's building pressure in the center, and it's pushing it back towards the light when it gets to a certain, in all mechanisms of it, and it helps to keep the pressure up of the other caps. It's quite remarkable. That's just a mechanism. It just works like that. Okay. Now I'm measuring the exterior. I'm at 5.3, which is quite remarkable because usually the original S1 Mini would go at 5.3 at the same amount of time that we've been doing this here. That's because this is where its potential maintains best, because it's just a certain voltage. I won't go through the whole math of it again, but you get the point. It has this, it's re-looping on itself, basically, through a parallel connection. So, I want to test it, how long it's going to be if I shorten this one out. So what ends up happening when I short that one out, let me think about a solution that's better than shortening out. Okay, now I know that the center one has 8 volts. Oh, then it's easy. I just need to reloop the center one to actually 1 or 2 caps on the exterior here on one side. Now, if I choose one, it's going to be 2.7 volts versus 8 volts, because I'm relooping it, and again, it's going to be in parallel. You're not seeing this? Advanced here, very easy though. These are the negatives that are connected together. Remember, these are the positive. Here on the negative side, if I plug a diode from the center plus to here, it will connect to that one there. And we know that the center goes up to 8 volts, so 8 volts will want to transfer to 2.7. So what the extra here is too much. We could bring it to 2.7 volts, or we could bring it here to 5 volts. These two places would ensure that the energy is transferred. Theoretically, in 2 places is better because it's 3 caps in series, so at least 2 of them will be charging in a balanced state. But no matter if it's unbalanced, when it's gonna function just as well, or 10% less than if it was perfectly balanced in certain areas, and not all. So then again, I need to put a diode on the positive. This is the positive. Remember, this is the blue wire because it's a return of the light that's going there. The return of the light is going to the positive to charge the cap. Okay, this is our positive. It's actually where the blue wire is going. So I need to plug the diode from there to here. So let me do that. I can do that physically by hand. The diode has to be going out from the center out to the exterior. So the white line of the diode, that means it's going in this direction. Boom, like that. Won't the energy. So now we're going to plug this side to the center cap, positive, and we're going to shoot it like that. You see how the light's lighting up now. Now, that's when I connected to 1. Now, is it 1? Let me just make sure of that, because it's get tricky for the eyes. Okay, yes, that's just 1. And I do that, and it works. That means that the center cap is now also one of the exterior caps in parallel to it. It's crazy, yeah? But when you think about it, that's what's going on. Now it's like this one became the center one. Right? If I put it here, it's going to be like these two are not only part of the exterior, but they're also part of the center. Let's see what it does. Now in this case, it doesn't work because it's less voltage. There's not the 8 volts in the center. But if it had more than 5 volt, then it would work. So that tells me, okay, then you have to put it there. But I could put another one there, could I? Yes, I could. Nature says yes. Right? Yeah, man. Nature says yes. So take that, put that there. We're going to put one here, twist it around. Very easy. Quite easy. Then twist it on this one. So now we're plugged to 1. And the light is on. And we're not charging here. Right? Look at this. Look how big this is. When you put these, I don't want to put it there, but I'll put it underneath. Look how big this is. This is tiny. And look, it's working. Okay? Try this at home, boys and girls. If you don't plug it like this, it won't work. It will work for a certain amount of time, but not like this one's going to work. Not even close. I'm at the next day with this one, okay, and I can still discharge the center cap and bring it back. Okay? These would, on their own, they would discharge with no light on it. Supercaps discharge on their own. They wouldn't be able to open the light in any case. Okay? So that's what's keeping the whole system up. It's a kind of like it's alive because it's relooping on itself. You're bringing it to a certain state of conditioning. Now we could still discharge it. Okay. Now we're going to plug a second diode to it. I've never done this, but I know it works because it's just logical. When you use your logic, it's just logical. I'm going to send it to the same direction. Wait. Basically, it's going like that, from here to there. So now I'm going to put it like that. And to the other one. Turn it a few times. Oops. I shortened it out while touching another thing. One there and one here. Why? Well, when the center cap is going to be higher than 5 volts, it will not only come and charge one of these caps, but charge 2 of them, which then in turn will raise the potential of this side, and it's plugged in parallel to this side. So this side will also rise in potential, right? Now we could continue this dance. To where? To what extent? How much? Well, it's not needed, I think, to put it there. It could have been needed, but it's not in this case. On the other side, but here's important because of that one, it's still important to create balance, but it wouldn't charge it because to recharge that one, it needs 8.1 volts of potential. It will only charge it if this one has more than 8.1, and that's not very logical in this system because we need a difference in potential. It's hard to explain. I won't go into that part. Now, look at it. I try to see if I can do anything else with the diodes in this particular manner. Logic says no, but look, now the light is closed. Why is it closed? Let me just charge this. I just want to see something. Okay, maybe the second one didn't work. We'll just recharge it, or it's over. Or I touch these 2 wires together without knowing. So let's just recharge it. Okay, maybe I made a mistake on this one. Just let me think here. Looks like I did make a mistake. The second one doesn't work. There's a reason. There's a reason for that. There's a reason for that. So, oh no, there it is. Took a while though. Took a minute there, huh? A minute 30 seconds, something, 90 seconds. Look how bright it is though. Let's give it. Let's give it all she's got. Où je l'ai vu, moi? All right. So wow, that's pretty bright. Okay, so let's measure the voltages to see what we have. So on the charging ports, 5.33. No, that's in the center. There's heat in the diodes. 9.80 in this exterior. It's charged. The energy is relooping at 5 volts to these 2 other caps, maintaining the whole thing. I'm at 10 volts. It's pushing it. We're pushing the envelope here, big time. Still charging. Light is bright, but you gotta remember, it's only like 5 volts in the center and 10 volts there. That means it's only 5 volts. So, but look how bright it is, though. Fuck, it's bright. Made me blind. I'm going to put it aside. It's too bright. Right. Hide the light. Yeah. Suddenly I'm hiding the light on this side, so if I can, yeah. All right, let's shut off the charging. Charging is off. And this is the equivalent of 3 farads, okay? And it's maintaining as if it was 100 farads. I'm not joking. You know, it's an estimate, but maybe it's acting as if it's 50 farad, but still, you know what I mean? It's in the realm of wow. Didn't take much to get that to work. I mean, it's incredible. It really is incredible. The Pico Mini. The S Pico Mini. Jackpot. Another winner. We are saving the world one little device at a time. And it's the same fractal of the other ones. Amazing, though. Amazing. How long is it going to last? It charges in about what? 3 minutes? Average 3-4 minutes max we did. So, and we could have done it a bit less, but it started to get bright after at least 90 seconds. There's a reason to that, and now it's working even better because of the diodes. It's working miracles right now. Capacitors allow so many freaking ways to plug it. My mind wants to explode. I swear my mind wants to explode. You know, I went through this 2 years ago. I figured this shit out, but I was doing it by hand. Imagine. I was doing it by hand. Oh my God, it's advanced the way I understand it. It's so advanced. So advanced. So you need to start making these devices and to understand them. To understand how nature allows you basically study everything. And yeah, we won't go to the extent of really what all this means, but because it's way more things that are happening and that are observable with these devices. We didn't even put coils on it, right? So didn't even start to pulse this. With this thing, believe it or not, and the pulsing I've done in the past, I could use this as a source, and I bet you I could reloop the pulsing. I could replace. I actually, if I put all my results together and all I know how to do, with this little thing, could be my source to those LED lights right there, strips at max 14 volts. Why? Because I am able to reloop, and I was able to do it with just 2 lithium batteries, and it worked for 7 days. And I broke it physically because I touched the wire and I played with it. And I had no more step-up converters. And by that time, I was tired of blowing up step-up converters. And I decided to do another device for you guys because that one would involve too much work for you. And we need everybody to make these things. Because if you don't make them, you're going to pay 10 times more for things, so you're not going to be able to be liberated. You see? This mini flashlight would cost close to $120 on the market. And people will say, oh, well, it's not worth it, it's better lithium. And in a way, they have, in their reality, they don't understand. This is to be used in another way. Oops. This is to be used in another way than we're used to. 663. The light's still on. You don't need to discharge it yet. The device is so small, and put everything together. It's so small that all around it could be lights, and it would work. It's so small that this LED strip is too big for it. Let me show you. But it's too big, but we'll put it anyway. Because, man, you think it and we make it. As soon as you can think it, you can make it. So this one is perfect. This one it's this place. It's this place. It's so exciting. It's really this place. My head wants to explode again. It's too exciting, guys. I hope this time you're gonna catch it, because I've done this more than once. And fuck, it's tough to live this alone. I need you guys to make it and jump of joy. So because I've jumped and jumped and jumped and jumped and jumped and jumped, and man, it gets too much after a while. And each time I show you I jump again, my head wants to explode. You get me? Hope you do. Now it's extra long, so we're gonna have to do a little overlapping for sure. Amazing. It's gonna be beautiful though. It's gonna be incredible. Millions. This is gonna really, guys, sometimes you don't understand when I say stuff like that. It's no freaking joke. I'm looking at it and I'm making it. I'm like, holy shit, I always wanted something like this. You get me? But now I would need to cut it. I could actually cut these strips. But I don't want to cut it. I'm going to make it bigger than it should be. Actually working. Watch this. If you don't love this, don't never watch my videos again. If you love this, share it with the world, please. Don't be egoist. And take this off. It's still on though. Take this off. I'm gonna put a USB plug. Darn wire is a bit long, but we're gonna have a look at that for now. I'm gonna put just a little glue, tape would do better on the inside. Where's my Kapton tape? I recommend buying this tape. It could withstand a lot of heat. It's super easy to work with. Usually it's easy also to just get it to off its thing. But right now, Is it? Sure. Yeah, so this is kind of ideal. This is perfect. This is actually the only tape pretty much you could use for this example. And at the same time, I'll take the bottom of the caps. All right. Get that. Pretty good. The wires are bigger than the device. Okay, so my charging ports, I'm just going to bring together. All right, and I'm going to put let's see if it became hot. Now it's completely discharged because the wires touch, but it's okay. I'm going to put, where is it? I'm going to shorten everything up. Okay, put this on. Get that more neat and tiny here. At least those two. It's cleaner. Now these two are for my USB plug. I plugged it on the mini here. So I could have plugged them directly on the leads here. I won't plug it here for now. I'm getting hungry, a bit tired also. These are long videos. Put it on fast forward in the future. Use this video as a reference because it's the same thing with the S1, the S Mini. It's all the same connection, exact same thing. So now we're gonna unhook these because we just shorted it out. Try doing that with batteries. No, don't try doing that with batteries because they would explode. So now I'm gonna recharge it. I'm gonna put LED strips on it while charging it. Plug the LED strip to the USB. The USB is not on yet. So let's just make sure everything's right here. The USB is supposed to have a little light, little dot sliding out. The USB plug, I'm not sure if, yeah, it's working. It's charging. It's getting brighter. Brighter. And brighter. If you love brighter, and it's gonna get real bright here, I think. So far, it's actually like it's a bit brighter than it looks to the eye. It's sunny out, you know. It's bright in here. It's brighter than it looks on the camera, but still, you get to see it. Good idea of it. It's actually decently bright because it's all around it. It's a 360, you know. It's all around. So we're gonna unhook it soon from the charging, and we're gonna let's measure the voltages on the charging ports. Is On the charging, no, that's the center. We're at 2.5. We're at 4.55. And on the exterior, charging ports here, we're at 9.61. Okay, we're pretty much at 9.61, 4.55. No, it's once the center one's gonna top at 5.4. Right now it's at 4.55. Then there's an effect that's gonna pop in. The effect is that these 8.1 volts are pushed from the bottom up 5 volts, which allow them to withstand up to 13 volts here. So we're going to let it go to 13 volts, okay? Because the center one, the more energy it has, the more it's in series with the light, and the more that it create. What's the word for it? The more it. The more it's a negative, it acts like a negative. The negative has a positive energy in it. It's a bit difficult to understand, but it's pressure. It has to do with pressure. I want to see if I can get it to charge higher than 9.62. That's why I'm leaving it on, or else it's already been charged. For a minute, it was already charged. Okay, you don't need to leave it that. As long as I could see, it doesn't want to go higher there. Okay, so that means it's re-looping. It's doing its magic right there. So we'll unhook the charging. No more charging. Right, and we have. You can imagine that these wires are not there, okay? And you can imagine that even the charging port is not there. It's just a little plug that you plug, right? And you just plug it in the wall for 3 minutes, and then you have your little lamp. And when it's going to be dead, it's not going to be dead. You're going to discharge a center cap. You're going to reduce the center potential that is at 5 volts. You will reduce it to 3 volts or 2 volts. That will create a difference in potential. It will add that difference in potential to the 2 volt that's already there, that's not lighting up the lights. By combining both, it's going to be a 4.2 or 3 volt, which will light up the light again, and will charge a center cap back again. Then you discharge it again and again. And if you forget it there for hours and you come back the next day, even you come back, you discharge it again, right? Hopefully this is the one that will work. Yeah. Wow, you see the smoke on that? Where does that come from? It didn't like that one. It didn't like that one. There's a short that happened there. Did you see that flame? Well, it's working anyways. But we could say, or like at the 4th time the discharge after, I would say about 24 hours, and still you got something out of it. But let me see what the other ones. Which one? Which one? Is this one? Yeah, this one. You see, I think this one I shorted out before, because you see this one's still working really well. I did all 3 at the same time yesterday. So this one, I'm not sure. I think something wrong happened there. These wires are wanting to touch. We're gonna go with the reference now with this one because I didn't charge this. So this one is pretty much at its last draw here. I think it may be the last time that I will be able to do it. 24 hours later after 5-minute charge. Oh, that burns. The fact that this is still on with such little caps is quite remarkable. Really, it's pretty nuts. 6.57 volts. If you want to see it go brighter, check. Oh, I'm not too sure why when I let it go, it doesn't stay on as usual. Oh, give me a sec. No, that shouldn't be a problem. I'll keep it on it and I'll discharge it the best that I can. Let me just check another thing. Okay, I'm at the center, exterior. Because the exterior is going down when I do that. That's because when I short that out, what's happening? I'm not too sure. I'm a bit tired. I need something to drink. I need something to eat. My brain neurons are not working well. I shortened it out too much, or okay. Let me think this one through. I think the second diode might causing it to get too high on the minus side of things, and I need it just to go back to 1 to have a better effect, or else there's not enough different potential when I'm doing this discharge. So it's a little fix. If I wouldn't have done that, I would have continued. But now that I did that, I would need to stay my finger on the button to make it work. In this particular case. Oh, right now it's completely discharged. Oof. Okay, but still, guys, amazing results. Smallest device ever. It's gonna last because this model is very small. It's gonna last about 10 minutes at full blast, or so. You know what I mean? And really, even if you charge it 3 minutes or 5 minutes, whatever, you could put it in your pocket, and the next day, 24 hours later, you could discharge the center cap and it will start working for you. Usually these caps will drain on their own in about 24 hours. You'd have 0 volts to work with. In about 12 hours, you would have half the volts to work with. But now it will maintain on itself because of the mechanism. Okay? Same thing's happening here. This is why I can reload. This is the same thing's gonna happen there. It's the same thing. I'll change the 2 diodes. I'll put it to 1. I'll redo the test. I'm supposed to get some better results. Or else we don't discharge it because it's relooping on itself it's doing it already. We don't need to redo it on top of it. And it's doing it at 2 places, so it's going to do it on 5 volts and up, and then after, if it goes down to under 5 volts, it will do it at 2 volts. If you discharge the center cap, just do it 1 shot. That's the only thing you could do. If you take it too long, it will take the whole thing down. That's what just happened. So there's a precise way to make this one function most appropriately in this configuration. But by the time that I'll do the other ones, we'll have better results even. But it's very similar. So thank you for watching. Thank you for sharing. Know that it's all done with good intent. And please donate to my PayPal. I need your support. And the world needs our help. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.